This is a reading of both parts of Chapter 1 of Digimon Liberator DEBUG, the web novel side story releasing alongside the Digimon Liberator webcomic. This is the official English version from the website, which will be linked in the description. There is no sky. Smoke and ash billowing from clusters of active volcanoes blanket the heavens above. In this sunless place, the only light comes from rivers of flowing magma, casting everything in a glowing red. Rocks stretch as far as the eye can see, just rocks on rocks on rocks. The dull pop of bubbles forming from the lava and the savory sizzle of the molten stone serve as makeshift background music. Although the temperature isn't felt, the visual information from the game environment alone is enough to induce dehydration. Perhaps this is what hell looks like. This is Ruby Mountain, a high-level area within Lesuna. It is located far from the central city, on the distant outskirts of the realm. In this place, where not even NPCs are positioned, there was a young girl and a Digimon shorter than half her height. Though there was no one to see them, anyone would recognize them as a tamer-partner duo at a glance. Well, if there was one thing that might cast doubt on them being partners. "I'm sorry, I really mean it!" It would be the fact that the girl was profusely apologizing to the Digimon sitting on the ground. The Digimon seemed to be in quite a bad mood, yet the girl, named Yuki, maintained an optimistic smile despite her apparent unease. Debug 1-1 Yuki. Yuki is wearing a blue-violet camisole top paired with black shorts and an oversized white jacket. Her bright magenta-dyed hair is styled in a half-up, half-down look with braids on the sides. She is also wearing her favorite red sneakers. On top of this, her makeup is immaculate. She nods firmly to herself thinking, "I'm on point today." Sporty with a hint of elegance. She should log out this instant, dash off to Harajuku, and feel utterly confident snapping selfies for social media. Styled to perfection, bright and adorable Yuki. If she's speaking modestly, she's unstoppable. But still, shut up, I'm not gonna budge. Even at her most unstoppable, Yuki found it extremely difficult to improve her partner's mood. "Please, I'll buy you some cute accessories next time, so please forgive me, Impmon." "Ha, no way. I won't forgive you until you reflect on what you did." "But what if it's like mad cute?" "I don't need no darn cute accessories, and what do you mean by mad cute? Just say it's really cute." "Aw. Oh, what? I've been meaning to say this for a while, but the way you talk is messing up my mood, and that's why we always fail." Impmon sighed deeply, without turning its small, deep purple body towards her. A level 3 evil Digimon, Impmon is characterized by its 2 long clown-like horns, red gloves, and scarf. Having been with Yuki since the beta testing days, Impmon has been communicating with her like this for over half a year. There's no longer any reserve between them, and they're close to inseparable. Yet, despite the closeness of their relationship, Yuki had never managed to get the hang of how to cheer up this little devil. "I know, I said I'm sorry, okay?" She was fully aware that the fault was her own. It was clear that their mission had failed because she charged in impulsively. The mission. The certain issue mentioned here that they are taking care of its NPCs recently going rogue. As members of the debug team in the game Digimon Liberator, Yuki and Impmon are tasked with investigating and addressing a certain issue. When NPCs go rogue, they indiscriminately challenge any player they see, regardless of any gap in ability. This is considered a bug that severely hinders enjoyable gameplay. Yuki and Impmon are there to eliminate these bugs and ensure that Digimon Liberator operates as the peaceful and enjoyable game it should be. However, as mentioned already, Yuki and Impmon failed in their mission. They were defeated by 2 rogue NPCs known as Metallic Dramon and Volcanic Dramon. "Man, they were strong," Yuki mused. Indeed, they possessed incredible strength. While they weren't conditional battle NPCs, it was clear that a better strategy against their deck was needed. There was almost no chance of winning without meticulously formulating a deck to counter them. That could have turned out real bad, huh? Usually, losing to a rogue NPC would corrupt a player's character data. However, as part of the debug team, Yuki's data is protected by her unique emblem. If not for the emblem serving as a backup, they wouldn't be able to bicker like this now. Ideally, if the emblem functioned perfectly, it could be distributed to all users. However, this feature is still considered an unstable test version. This means that even with the emblem, there's still a chance that user data could be corrupted upon defeat. That is precisely why Impmon is so angry. As long as the emblem's backup isn't a 100% reliable feature, In other words, as long as there is even a slight chance that they could be separated upon defeat, the mission must absolutely succeed. Darn straight it could have been bad, Yuki. Yeah, sorry. All she could do was sincerely apologize. There was no defending such recklessness. What had she been thinking, launching into battle without doing the necessary groundwork? It was her fault. There was no doubt about it. Will you ever stop being so impulsive? Oh, just a little bit more, thought Yuki. Even Impmon was growing tired of sulking. Its previously stubborn demeanor had softened. Previously, only the back of its head was visible. Now its gaze slightly met hers. Just one more push. Not wanting to neglect the opportunity to reconcile with Impmon, Yuki poured forth with more expressions of regret. I'll change, I swear. I'm super sorry. So let's head back to town, okay? Do you even have a plan? Once again, her partner lets out a heavy sigh. With a resigned shrug, Impmon continues. I don't want to deal with risky and annoying stuff anymore. If you're really sorry, then come up with a plan for them. How confident are you that we can beat them next time, huh? I've got no plan yet. The planning starts now. After all, we just lost them only a moment ago, Yuki honestly responded. It had been less than an hour since the NPCs had defeated them, and since their defeat, she had been entirely devoted to appeasing Impmon, leaving no time to devise any strategy. Yeah, you're on your own. Aw, come on. As Impmon turned its back to Yuki again, she saw the tears in its eyes. It was clear that she had inadvertently upset her partner with her thoughtless remark. Stop being like that. Let's think of a plan together. It might have been an unnecessary thing to say, but she wanted Impmon to accept the reality. It was truly impossible to reflect on and revise their battle strategy in only an hour. It would be easy to lie and smooth things over, but without a real plan, it wouldn't be very meaningful. If Impmon asked to hear the plan, and she had nothing, her lie would quickly be exposed. Her only choice was to be honest, and hence the current situation. Come on, I said I'm sorry, she exploded. The intense environment of Ruby Mountain's outskirts was tiring her out, and after the relentless battle and repeated unsuccessful apologies to her partner, Yuki had reached breaking point. Even the ever-cute and cheerful Yuki couldn't keep her emotions in check anymore. Apology not accepted. Impmon, you stubborn little... whatever, meathead. Well, sorry for being meathead. Guess I'm a girl who's naturally athletic and only good at sports. Self-conceited much? While you're at it, why don't you work on getting better at these card battles instead of just sports? Impmon turned toward her and cracked a sly grin. Knowing Impmon well from their long time together, Yuki instinctively knew that this was a taunt. I suppose it's impossible for you to get good at card games because, well, you're a bit dumb. What did you say? Is that how you talk to a friend? I see how it is. Yuki quickly pulls out her D-storage and activates it. A translucent blue user interface emerges from the device. Having had enough attitude for one day, she decided to put Impmon in her D-storage and summon a portal with instant item. With it, she'll head back to town. Hey, that's not fair. La la la, I can't hear you. Naughty children who don't listen get a timeout. I'm tired and want to log out soon, so let's go home, Impmon. The exchange of sharp words had worn her out. She was about to navigate the menu with practiced ease when she paused. Huh? Something felt off. There was a red notification icon next to items in the pull-down section of the main menu, indicating the receipt of a new item. What's the matter? I thought you were logging out. Shh, shut up a sec, she said, holding up a hand to quiet the flustered Impmon. She had no recollection of acquiring any new items. They had yet to stop by any shops today, and aside from their battle with the rogue NPCs, they hadn't engaged in any significant activity. Usually, acquiring items without purchasing them from a shop would imply that they had defeated an NPC and the item had dropped, but they had lost their only battle with the NPCs. If that was the case, then... They lost, yet still acquired an item? The very act of NPCs going rogue was a bug. It wouldn't be strange for unusual things to happen under such circumstances, yet it was still peculiar. The only conclusion was that they had acquired an item from the NPCs they had lost to. While feasible, such irregularities make figuring out what's going on much more challenging for the debuggers. Should I open it? Do I risk it? After some deliberation, Yuki decided to check the item. Without verifying its contents, it would be difficult to report accurately to the GMs. With caution, she tapped on the notification section of the item box. You got an ability item for a Tamer card. A familiar message window pops up. Tamer card ability items. These are considered highly significant items in Digimon Liberator. When players first log into the game, they receive a blank Tamer card depicting an image of themselves. After that, by using ability items, players can unlock and acquire new abilities for their tamer cards. This is a crucial element for progressing through the game. What kind of ability item could they have obtained? Yuki, unable to guess what the item might be, tapped the confirm button on the interface. Hey, Impmon? What do you want? Perhaps irritated at being ignored, Impmon responded in a rough, aggressive tone. Yuki, unfazed, continued with her question. Impmon, you're evil type, right? What kind of question is that? Obviously. And the level 6 Beelzemon is a demon lord? Again, duh. Not a dark dragon or evil dragon, right? Softening its prickly attitude, Impmon realizes from Yuki's odd questions that something is going on, and walks over. What's with these weird questions all of a sudden? Can you take a look at this? Yuki asked, crouching down so the shorter Impmon could see her interface. Impmon nonchalantly peers at the item details. What the heck is this? Right? What the heck? Both of them tilt their heads in confusion. Ability items typically drop randomly, but it is not entirely random. The system evaluates the type of deck being used and selects a related ability from a relevant pool. Their main deck is naturally centered around Impmon's card. Using cards in the trash as resources, they use the level 3 Impmon to bring forth or digivolve into Beelzemon at level 6. This strategy allows them to lay waste to the playing field and security in the early stages of battle. Impmon is classified as an evil type, and Beelzemon is a demon lord type. Therefore, if an ability item were to drop, typically it would be related to these types. However, this item was different. Main. If you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, by suspending this tamer, one of your Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card with the Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait in the trash. Dark Dragon and Evil Dragon aren't entirely irrelevant. However, they are quite a mismatch for their main attacker, Beelzemon. Hey, look at this! Huh? Impmon pointed at the menu screen, where a new notification had appeared. The glowing red circle on the card list indicated the acquisition of new cards. This system is riddled with bugs. How could someone receive new cards just by viewing an ability item's details when they hadn't even said it yet? This was unheard of. However, both of them had already failed to exercise caution. Drawn in by the bizarre events unfolding before them, Yuki and Impmon opened the list to check the newly acquired cards. Whoa, what is this card? I have no idea. Several unfamiliar Digimon cards were added to her card list. Among the cards were Dark Dragon and Evil Dragon Digimon with names they had never heard. I think I've got it, Yuki suddenly realized. This could be the very thing they needed. The thought filled her with a sense of certainty. Huh? What did you get? Isn't it obvious? Just like you wanted, this gives us strategy for taking down those rogue NPCs. The dark sky is draped in ash while the land glows red with flowing lava. Amidst this harsh landscape stands a colossal mass of rock. It is a volcano that seems ready to shoot a pillar of fire into the sky at any moment. Back in this remote area far from the central location of Ruby Mountain, Yuki and her companion now face a shadowy figure. It is a tall, slender, white humanoid robot. By now, they were accustomed to seeing the sinister glow of red electronic signage lighting up its face visor. The rogue NPC. Undoubtedly, the same NPC that had defeated them just a few hours earlier. The revenge match was in full swing. Yuki looks on as 3 Digimon face off between her and the NPC. DEBUG 1-2. Heavy Metal Play. In the battle area of the NPC, there is a Digimon that appears to be a combination of a dragon and a fighter jet. Its body is twisted but radiates a sense of functional beauty. It is the machine dragon Digimon called Jazarichmon. In Yuki's battle area, there are 2 Digimon in battle-ready positions along with a tamer card displaying her image. One is a level 6 Dark Dragon Digimon that has been resurrected from the trash. It was Nidogmon, an enormous black dragon with 2 pairs of wings formed of blazing energy. A big part of why she included this demonic dragon with blocker in her deck is because of her tamer card effect, obtained earlier from the ability item. It was fortunate that she had managed to play this Digimon before the opponent's playing field was fully set up. Nidogmon was the crucial card needed to defeat this rogue NPC. And then there's another Digimon. A new face that had just digivolved moments ago. This Digimon sported large speakers on both shoulders and a sharply pointed microphone on its chest, resembling a horn used to pick up its voice. The cyborg's massive body was adorned with dazzling armor. Fans may confuse its silhouette for War Growlmon, the ultimate form of Impmon's rival Gyomon. However, this was a completely new species of Digimon, unknown to anyone yet. Wow, totally wicked. Way too cool! Its name is Loudmon. Another newcomer, Punkmon, is also totally cool. A level 4 Dark Dragon Digimon, Punkmon wears a leather jacket and a metal mask, and sports a mohawk. Yuki desperately wanted to touch that mohawk, but through sheer willpower managed to restrain herself. Can it get even cooler than this? I don't know if I can handle that. With the next card ready, the playing field was developing just as Yuki had planned. Now it all depended on the enemy NPC's next move. Here they come, Yuki. You better be ready. You bet. As Loudmon, infused with its partner's consciousness, urged caution, the NPC raised its right hand and hoisted a card high into the air. Yuki had seen this motion before. It was the very move that had led to their defeat earlier. Here it comes. Bring it on! The memory gauge, which had been at 0, suddenly tipped towards Yuki, spiking to 5. The level 5 Jurassicmon in front of her was enveloped in bright light and transformed into particles of emerald green. These particles reassembled into a completely different form. A larger body was quickly piecing together. It was digivolving. The NPC's trump card! Interwoven as if braided, layers of steel scales cover its body. Light continuously streams from both arms. Its sharp eyes glare at Yuki and her Digimon. A level 6 Metallicdramon, a mechanical dragon known as a Sky Dragon, had manifested. The piercing roar of Metallicdramon vibrated through the atmosphere. Simultaneously, it was Yuki's turn again. With the effect of her tamer card, additional memory was added, bringing her total to 6. This was more than sufficient to execute her plan. Seriously, what immense power! She thought out loud to dispel the anxiety within, trying not to be overwhelmed by its intensity. That thing is just unfair. Its effect from when it digivolved prevented Yuki from digivolving level 4 or below Digimon until the end of her next turn. This was highly troublesome. Moreover, Yuki remembered that Metallicdramon possessed an even more problematic effect upon its deletion. Staring down the opponent's playing field, Yuki declares her turn. My draw phase! After the draw phase, Yuki's hand consisted of only 2 cards. This was the result of her aggressively using her hand to set up the playing field. Although given a generous 6 memory to work with, it looked unlikely that she could dominate the field with only 2 cards in hand. At least that would be the typical reaction with other deck types. Most likely the rogue NPC was having that exact thought, seeing her low hand count as a result of her cost spending spree. But that was a huge mistake. In fact, the fewer cards in hand, the better for this deck. She had just the right number of cards in hand to deploy her Tamer card's ability and other cards, as well as sufficient cost available. Yuki swung her right hand decisively, suspending the Tamer card placed on the field. An effect is activated. Main. If you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, you may suspend this Tamer to digivolve 1 Digimon in your trash into a Digimon card with the Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait. Let's go, Loudmon. You ready to crank it up? Yuki called out as she swiftly deployed her memory. The cost required was 4 memory. As she retrieved a card from the trash, Loudmon's body became enveloped in a glow reminiscent of Metallicdramon's earlier radiance. It was the glow of Digivolution. As its body morphed, Loudmon responded resoundingly to Yuki's call. Hell yeah! Alright, then let's get this party started. Loudmon's Digivolution begins. You call yourself Metallicdramon, you ain't metal at all. As the light subsided, a silhouette significantly larger than Loudmon's previous form emerged. Its serrated armor appeared as if it could slice skin upon contact. On its back were 2 pairs of flashy wings in the shape of electric guitars. Its arms were equipped with gauntlets featuring blades sure to rend any foe asunder. Instead of legs, a serpent-like tail slithered across the ground. Diabolical was the perfect word to describe this evil dragon.
I'm gonna show you what real metal sounds like.
Heavy Metal Dramon. The roar of the evil dragon and the thunderous sound of its wings made the very atmosphere tremble. Whoa, so cool! Yuki felt she might faint from excitement, barely managing to stay composed. The new form of Immon didn't have the sleekness of Beelzemon. Instead, it overflowed with a charm that her old partner lacked. Not just cool! Black Sabbath, as the evil dragon shouted, its Digivolution ability activated. The howling noise from the wings on its back intensified, and then it wrought destruction upon the battle area in front of them. When digivolving, trash 2 cards in your hand. Then, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon's DP. Both Metallicdramon and Heavy Metal Dramon have 13,000 DP. Compounding this, the effects of Impmon's and Punkmon's previous Digivolutions added 4,000 DP this turn. Heavy Metal Dramon, with a DP of 17,000, undoubtedly met the conditions for deletion. Consequently, Metallicdramon was obliterated by the effect of Heavy Metal Dramon. However, the game would not be won so easily. Here it comes. Yuki looked beyond the NPC toward the volcano. A shadow burst forth from the peak, along with the erupting magma. Flapping its enormous wings, a level 6 Earth Dragon Digimon appeared, its igneous scales pulsing with veins of lava.
Here it comes, Yuki.
This Digimon was Volcanic Dramon. As Metallic Dramon is deleted, another effect was activated. All turns, once per turn. When this Digimon would leave the battle area other than by one of your effects, you may play one Digimon card with the Rock Dragon or Earth Dragon trait from your trash without paying the cost. That's right, Volcanic Dramon has a similar effect. Having once lost to this opponent, Yuki clearly remembered the card's effect. All turns, once per turn, when this Digimon would leave the battle area other than by one of your effects, you may play one Digimon card with the Machine Dragon or Sky Dragon trait from your hand without paying the cost. While one is from the trash and the other is from the hand, the opponent's deck was capable of disrupting her field through the strong synergy of these two Digimon. In their last encounter, she was beaten down by what seemed like an endless loop of Metallic Dramon and Volcanic Dramon appearing. The bitter taste of defeat spread in her mouth. She once again regretted the fact that she foolishly charged in without a plan. But that's precisely why it was so crucial to deploy Nidogmon rapidly. Getting these two Digimon lined up before Volcanic Dramon could enter the field was critical to her victory. You can come at me any time, Volcanic Dramon. As Yuki feared, the Earth Dragon roared and spewed a beam of heat. This was its effect that activates on play. On play, when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. The Heat Ray did not scorch Heavy Metal Dramon. Instead, its target was Nidogmon. Gotcha, Yuki exclaimed, her strategy playing out as planned. Upon deletion, Nidogmon can play a level 5 or less Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait Digimon without paying its cost. Seizing the moment, Yuki calls out, Orochimon, a level 5 blocker with a DP of 6,000. Excellent. Choosing to prepare for the opponent's attack was a slight departure from Yuki's usual high-speed aggressive style. However, no matter what, she did not allow her opponent to reduce her number of Digimon. That was the insight Yuki gained from seeing Heavy Metal Dramon's card. Reflecting on their previous defeat had shown her a simple truth. Previously, Yuki only knew how to attack aggressively, but this card and her prior loss made her rethink her tactics. Sometimes, enduring an opponent's onslaught reveals the path to victory. Let's go, Heavy Metal Dramon. Ready to turn up the tempo and captivate our audience? She had already made preparations to play more Digimon on her playing field. If the opponent tries to delete more of her Digimon, she will replenish even faster.
Of course, Yuki. We'll go all in and win this battle.
Her partner's reassuring voice bolstered her confidence. With victory in sight, Yuki's passion began to burn even hotter. Now, it was their turn to dominate the opponent. Yay, we won big! Back at base camp on Ruby Mountain, still buoyant from the lingering thrill of victory, Yuki impulsively hugs Impmon. Hey, this is not the place for that. Come on, don't be shy. Flustered, her partner jumped out of her embrace and hastily created some distance, turning away. The same old attitude. Why can't Impmon be more honest? Then again, that's precisely what makes Impmon cute. Even its cold demeanor felt cheerful in the aftermath of their victory. Having faithfully replicated the strategy she envisioned when reconstructing her deck, her spirits were justified. The new cards worked well. You could praise me a bit more, Impmon. So you're saying you couldn't have won without that card? Impmon's sarcastic remark froze her. With that thought, she couldn't maintain her positivity. It was true. They were able to change their approach because of the new Digimon and Tamer card ability. Feeling the potential in these cards had given her the courage to take a bold new direction. Well, a win is a win. Nice one, Yuki. Aw, Impmon! Idiot, I told you not to hug me! No way. She would have preferred Impmon to just congratulate her right away. However, she decided not to voice her thoughts. It was better not to say anything unnecessary and spoil their hard-earned victory with a quarrel. Anyway, it's been bothering me. We could chalk it up to a bug, but there's something fishy about the new ability items and cards. I agree. It's kind of bothering me too. Maybe we should consult Altea next time? I don't really like that Altea. The Altea that Yuki mentioned is a member of the debugging team who supports them behind the scenes. Typically, she works alongside the Digimon Espimon to assist the GMs. Undoubtedly, Altea is the most knowledgeable about the system within their team, and a reliable figure indeed. Don't say stuff like hard to approach or don't like. We're teammates after all. There's no one else who would understand this stuff. That's true, but it feels kind of wrong just to leave things unsolved, you know? The game of Digimon Liberator is full of mysteries. Beyond that phenomena that Yuki and her team encountered, There are undoubtedly numerous bugs that management still needs to fix. Unless they're addressed, the game that she profoundly enjoys could one day face irreparable problems. When you think about it that way, we really need to use whatever means necessary to get the answers, right? You really are proactive, aren't you? You have my respect for that. You really are cut out for this job. Oh wow, you're giving me a lot of compliments today. Don't squeeze me. Impmon, usually not one to speak positively, must have been pleased with their victory over the rogue NPC. It was evident in Impmon's attitude as they chatted. So Yuki felt compelled to return the compliment. After all, it was Impmon who fought hard and earned their victory. Hey Impmon, you were super cool too. Your new Digivolution was totally awesome. What? Punkmon, Loudmon, and Heavy Metal Dramon. When she first saw the card illustrations, she was initially disconcerted by the departure from Beelzemon's appearance. But, being a dancer herself, the new music-themed Digivolutions hit all the right notes for Yuki. Ah, shut up. Let me go already. The mission's over, so why don't you log off already? No, I want to stay like this a bit longer. Yuki forcibly held on to her restless partner and began to walk briskly along the rugged paths of Ruby Mountain. Seriously, this partner of hers needs to be more honest. Thank you for listening to Chapter 1 of Digimon Liberator DEBUG. You can continue reading this on the official website, which will be linked in the description. For more like this, check out my reading of Digimon Seekers, as well as the dialogue-heavy playthroughs I've done for Cyber Sleuth and Digimon Survive.